Hello everyone and welcome back to another Manga Monday. Today I am going to be reviewing a book that I had heard a lot about, but also was inspired by another manga series I recently finished. So I recently read Still Sick by Akashi. It's a 3-volume series and it's about 2 women in an office who fell in love. And the last volume of the series, volume 3, was really focused on their relationship after they were together, so after they had confessed feelings for one another, and a big theme of it was how they couldn't really act like a couple in public because it was kind of frowned upon. And this made me realize that, so I live in the United States, and 2 women holding hands in public probably wouldn't garner a second glance very much, or at least it wouldn't garner the kind of reaction that these women made it seem like they would get in Japan. So that reminded me of a book that I had heard quite a bit about and wanted to read, and was on my to-read list actually, that I decided, hey, I really should try to read this because I think it would tie in nicely with this Still Sick series, or this particular volume in the Still Sick series. And that is My Brother's Husband by Gengoroh Tagame. And I'm gonna put that name in the description so you can see it. So he actually has been writing quite a bit of gay manga for a while, I guess. I haven't read any of his previous stuff. This is just from me looking at his stuff online, and this is kind of his first all ages book, but I had heard quite a bit about. So this is volume 1 of My Brother's Husband, and the story begins with Yaichi and his daughter Kana. Yaichi is a single dad. He's divorced from Kana's mother, and he's raising Kana, and he had a twin brother. And this twin brother had come out as gay as a child, well, like 15, and they had kind of drifted apart. He had moved to Canada, not Yaichi, the twin brother had moved to Canada and kind of cut himself off from the family more or less. Well, they had just kind of grown apart, and their parents are deceased, so it's really just him and his brother. His brother in Canada winds up marrying this man named Mike, but then his brother dies, and Mike comes to Japan to visit, I think to just kind of interact with the surviving relative, and yeah, just to kind of see the place where his husband had come from. So this whole book is kind of about Yaichi confronting some of his internal assumptions about gay men and recognizing that he had kind of assumed about how a family should look, some things about how a family should look, and now he kind of had to rethink this, and also realizing that maybe, well, he didn't think he disliked or felt weird about his brother's sexual orientation, maybe he had more than he thought he had, and just kind of him coming to know this man who his brother loved very much and thought quite a bit about. Kana's really a huge driver in the story. She's young, and I feel like young children are very much more open to learning new things than maybe adults who have kind of been more set in their ways for a while. So it's kind of a touching story about Kana getting to know her uncle, but also Yaichi kind of getting to confront some of the things that he's believed, and also just kind of grow as a person, also get this kind of this second chance with a brother who is deceased at this point, but a second chance to kind of make this relationship right with his brother through making a good relationship with his brother's husband. I should say this book lived up to all the hype that it had. I'd heard quite a bit about this, and I figured, well, it sounds cute and heartwarming, and it very much is. It is very good. I really, really enjoyed it. This would be a high 4-star read, and I thought it was very, very well done. I really liked the characters. I thought it was very relatable as Yaichi tries to bring together this way that he's always viewed things, while also thinking about his past relationship with his brother, while also viewing how he wants things to go forward. And he has his own things going on, like his ex-wife and raising this young girl, and Kana is also experiencing some things in her world that she never had to think about. So in her mind, when Uncle Mike shows up, she's like, okay, you were married to my dad's brother. Okay, that sounds right. She's young, so she just is like, okay, that's fine. But she starts to interact with some friends, and her friends at first aren't really any different. Her friend Tomo, and I think her name is, I'm really drawing a blank. It starts with a Y. She has 2 friends, and at first they're just kind of like, oh, okay, well, I've never heard of that before, but again, their kids are like, well, there's no reason I guess that can't be. But then their parents start to get involved and like, well, that's a negative influence. I don't really want going over to their house, and kind of starts to realize that maybe, and she's confused because Mike has been nothing but good to her, and they've been going out and having fun and going on little adventures throughout the day and seeing the city and eating food, and she's really confused as to why everyone else seems to think he's bad when she has never had any bad experience with him. So it's kind of an eye-opening experience that for her to learn that maybe some people view things poorly. Yaichi's trying to shield her from some of those influences while also not trying to hide that maybe some people treat gay men poorly, particularly in Japanese society. But he's really learning a lot from Kana, as much as Kana is kind of driving this story. But also, yeah, they're all kind of confronting this whole thing, which has really been triggered by the death of his brother, together. And I think it's just a really cute story and a really, really, really interesting read. So again, this was a really high 4-star read for me. I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was really, really well done, really good. I think you should definitely give it a try. Even if you're not a big manga reader, I feel like this is very accessible for all ages and a wide range of audience. It looks a little bigger than your average, maybe average, manga series, but it reads very, very quickly. I read this in one sitting in a morning, and I cannot recommend enough. If you read this series or have any thoughts about it, I'd love to hear it. I believe there are further installments in it. There are volumes of 2 and 3, I think I saw online at least, so I'd love to get my hands on that and see what that's about. And yeah, other than that, I just really can't recommend this series strongly enough. It was such a good series. Highly recommend it, and can't wait for the next volumes. Other than that, everyone, I hope you have a great Monday and enjoy the rest of your day.